Alright, welcome back everybody. I hope you're ready to listen to me read. Because we picked up a bunch of notes in the last episode. Oh, God. Alright. Alright, yeah, so starting with, I guess, some intel reports we picked up. Robco Laundry Facilities, threat level, red. Additional notes. There is an astringent chemical stink effusing from behind the doors into the stairwell. We sent in several scouts with protective gear. However, the results were horrifying. They came out within a minute, gasping and coughing up a pink, frothy sputum. Chemical burns marred any exposed skin. Charlene diagnosed them with acute chemical pneumatosis and minor radiation exposure. We conjectured the tower's chemical waste disposal system deteriorated and leaked onto this floor. Without the means to investigate further, the viability of the tower as a base of operations may be in jeopardy. The chemical waste could spread to other floors, potentially killing us, even as we slept. Preliminary recon suggests that an old pre-war facility called Fort Harrington may have hazmat suits with sufficient self-contained breathing apparatus gear to explore further. A recon unit has been dispatched to Fort Harrington in hopes of recovering the aforementioned gear. Alright, we need to get those. Anomalous rain zone. Anomalous rain zone in Brighttown area. Oh, is that where the lightning was striking us? Threat level, black. Recommendation, discontinue reconnaissance. See additional notes. Additional notes. In the anomalous zone, there is an almost perpetual rain, and the ground lacks the thick coverage of ice and snow present throughout the rest of the frontier region. We have been unable to collect sufficient data to understand the scientific workings of this anomaly. Due to the dangerous levels of radiation and infestation of ghoul-like creatures, soil samples contain significantly more anthropogenic radionuclides than other areas of the frontier. Our hypothesis is this ecological change is somehow related to being the ground zero of a very powerful nuclear weapon strike. This is supported by a large bomb crater found within the zone, but the unique circumstances require more research to confirm the exact scientific process at work here. The casualties sustained during our excursions into the zone warrant stoppage of this project. Recommend further analysis of soil and rain samples, but to avoid any further excursions. Alright. Portland Exclave Militia Intel Report. Portland Exclave Militia, Base of Operations, Whisperwind Cavern. Leader, Dietz or Jacob, details not clear. Estimated strength, 70 to 100 able-bodied adults. Well stocked with mid-grade conventional weaponry. Threat level, yellow. Recommendation, continue to monitor. Area of operation. Missionaries should avoid contact. See additional notes. Whisperwind Cavern is a shanty town. It contains a medical center, a bar, a cantina, and a trading post, plus several individual dwellings. A crude intercom system fashioned from parts of a bunker is used for communications. A variety of food crops are also grown by utilizing UV lamps and rainwater. A candlelit shrine carved out of a stalagmite sits in the middle of town to represent a tomb of someone called the Mother. Approach with caution as they have demonstrated xenophobic tendencies. Portland Exclave. That's the guys we met in Brighttown, right? Those two guys in the store. New duties. Hector, as Forsyth has been stripped of his Commander of Spec Ops title for breaking the chain that binds, I ask that you assume his leadership duties over the active reconnaissance teams. Galahad, Rekka, and Teresa will now report to you. All known intel reports have been confiscated from his office and his person. Prelate Sulla has been charged with keeping an eye on him in his new role as camp master. I know you disagree with the Round Table's decision not to exile him, but I think his ambition and charisma will serve as a good fit for the missions and haggling with outsiders. Tasha. Illicit organ trafficking operation, recon intel report. Threat level, green. Recommendation, discontinue reconnaissance. See additional notes. Despite following up on a number of leads and interrogating several suspects or suspected individuals, we can confirm the Patch and Go staff and the owner of the Wasted Angel are not running an organ trafficking operation. No evidence was found that humans are being kidnapped, killed, and having their organs sold to ghouls to replace their own failing internal organs. This is nothing but a racist hoax propagated by some locals. The investigation has been closed. Underground subterranean structure. Recon intel report. Threat level green. Recommendation discontinue reconnaissance. See additional notes. Sensory equipment indicates energy radiation patterns are concurrent with a large subterranean structure, possibly an abandoned enclave bunker or unmarked vault. No discernible entry point. Threat analysis low. Priority target for reconnaissance, as it is unlikely there is any threat derived from the structure or inhabitants. Due to the slight risk of enclave power armored hostiles, recommending the use of Faraday cages and a loadout of EMP weaponry for initial breach if a recon team is ever reassigned to this AO. Where's this located at? Putrid Horde. Base of Operations, Hosford Abernathy. Medical Center Leader. Leader Lord Putrid. Estimated strength 15 to 20. Thralls. Various automated defenses. Threat level black. Recommendation continue to monitor AO. Avoid contact. See additional notes. Lord Putrid performs complex surgeries but does not take any currency. He trades specimens instead. It is suspected that he performs illicit experiments on said specimens. No concrete confirmation, possibly just an urban legend based on his involvement in human trafficking. From the level of technology in Lord Putrid's prodigious medical acumen, he is likely being supported by an unknown benefactor from a technologically advanced organization, possibly Enclave. Defenses. Entryways are monitored via security cameras and fortified with electrified blast doors that discharge a shock of an estimated 1500 volts. The internal layout is unknown. Our assets were not allowed past a waiting area. Thralls, bald with deep facial scars that have a flat effect. Assets noted an outburst, berserker rage, taking 5 men to restrain him and a nurse with sedatives to stop the threat. Likely this berserker rage is a product of psycho use or massive amounts of buff out, potentially dangerous in groups. iBots. During attempted infiltration, assets were attacked by red and white iBot. It had been rigged with powerful explosives to detonate upon its destruction. Recommending to avoid further contact unless via a large-scale tactical assault. Okay, where's this one located at? Hosford Abernathy Medical Center. Alright. Is that all of our notes? I feel like that wasn't all of them. No. We know what you did. I think we found this in the showers. Daniela, we know what you've been up to. If we catch you stealing any more syringes, you'll be back to turning tricks outside that shitty bar. Should have known better than let a new recruit into the tower. You scabs can't be trusted. Thanks for confirming a stereotype, Maxine and Betty. Oh, well, that's kind of mean. Daniela. I mean, you could try to help her. Jeez. Cryogenics investigation notebook. Burn notes recovered. We managed to find a lab notebook that partially survived the attempted burning. The handwriting was poor, but we were able to make out mathematical formulas and notes related to the cryo chambers found in the main lab. Turns out there are more than just cryo chambers. They are a prototype for a hibernation chamber. Mark IX, I believe that's 9, autodocs. At first they appear to be standard Mark 9s, however, there is an indication they have been modified, possibly to run experimental routines. Unfortunately, someone introduced a virus into the software, corrupting and erasing the operating system. Now they are nothing more than fancy decorations. Hibernation chamber. The coffin-like object in the back of the main lab appears to be a design model for a human version of the canine hibernation chambers. Various ports and other design elements indicate this was to be fitted with a fully functional life support system. Unlike the dogs, the subject was not completely frozen, but more like a preservation where he or she could become roused and conscious while still encased in a chamber. Imagine if someone actually managed to get this working, he would be practically immortal. But why? What purpose would it serve to be in biological stasis but conscious? Hell comes, hell comes to mind. Perhaps it was used to torture people's minds beyond what the body could handle. No wonder all the research was destroyed. They realized what an abomination they created. Medics relocation. To Charlene, on Clement's request, we have transferred our surplus medics to the medical lab. Personally, I think he should grow some thicker skin, but his decision is understandable considering his past addiction. Someone will be up to collect the medics whenever we run out. Downstairs, just make sure everything is there. X. Synthetic medics progress. Medical team, we're still having trouble getting decent enough yield of the compound to make the synthetic medics analogous viable for use. Tabitha theorizes that it's because we need to use a stronger base than sodium hydroxide in the final phase, as the compound is not deprotonating properly. However, Maxine believes it's a problem in purity in the isolation of the starting compounds. Still, it's progress. Hopefully the ladies on the botany team are having better luck isolating the B-lactam compounds and getting that bioreactor up and running. Treating pain with Mastinol is still a viable option, but we can't go pouring bleach into infected wounds. I'm still heartbroken over losing Mary Beth to sepsis from that cooking accident. We can do better, ladies. We must. Prelate Michaela. Botany team notebook. Purpose. Due to the harsh climate in the frontier, the common Brock flower and Xander root will not grow naturally. The goal of the botany team is to engineer plants capable of producing the same healing chemicals while withstanding the freezing temperatures and poor soil conditions. We are also researching using plants to produce pre-war antibiotic compounds. Trial 1. Transgenic Brock flower and boxwood. The genes responsible for frost resistance were isolated and extracted from Buxus sempervirens and inserted into meristem from the common Brock flower using a modified Calamorvius. So far, results seem promising. Trial 2. Transgenic modification of Xander root genes into native species. Injecting the wild pea hybrid with genes that produce the healing compounds, which we dub 6-xanderol, the biosynthesis of which occurs in the rhizome. Goal is to get the entire plant to produce 6-xanderol instead of just rhizome. Specimens are thriving currently. Trial 3. Production of beta-lactam antibiotics in modified pepper plants. Inserted genes from P. chrysogenum, responsible for biosynthesis of PNAMs and CFAMs, into the plant so that the fruit will be rich in B-lactam compounds. So far, no fruit has been produced. We may have to go back to the planting mold, at least until the bioreactor can be repaired. Trial 4. Hyperaccumulators and phytoremediation. Pre-war research determined that certain species of plants can be used to remove radioactive toxins and other harmful substances from the soil. Apparently, a plant called a sunflower showed promise at the removal of radiation and was planted around highly irradiated areas. Unfortunately, they are not able to grow in this climate. Perhaps a trial of crossbreeding them with local flora might yield some results. Alright, a lot of big words in there. Now on to some poetry. The Price of War by Bob Frost. Price of War. Bob Frost. Wait a minute. Robert Frost, that's the poet, never mind. War never changes. An old saying passed down 30 years. Many, including ghouls who remembered a great war itself, attribute the quote to Galaxy News national anchor who uttered it right as the feed died. Regardless of the origin, the statement remains true. War really does never change. One can liken the war right here in the frontier to any other conflict. After all, the ones who suffer the most are the residents of the land. I've seen a lot of friends die in recent years. I've seen some of them join the Legion. Hell, I've seen some join the NCR. But I haven't seen a day where the gunfire isn't echoing down the streets, where vertebrates aren't seen scouring the streets for a target, be it a legionary or one of you getting medicine for your kids. I wish I could tell you it'll be okay, I really do. But that's not how war works. One side is going to come out on top, and that could mean anything for us. It could be slavery under the Legion, or it could be a new age of peace. It could be prosperity under NCR, or a regime led by a warmonger. Our children could end up becoming fanatical crusaders, or respecting the world we were given too many chances to save. All that I know is that our destiny isn't in our hands anymore, and if you try to take it into your own, be careful. The snow's soaked up too much scab blood as it is. Not California, right? Alter Crowley. Breach Outreach Senior Reporter. If you find an old world map, state lines and all, when you look for Portland, what's the state it's in? Not California, right? Quite interesting. Then, that we find ourselves under near hostile occupation by the new California Republic. As much as I'd love to give you a straight answer, they seem less than keen on interacting with the reporters of the Breach Outreach. But of course, why would they want to speak to us? After all, we reported on their senseless massacre of Brighttown, we report on the smoldering wrecks of vans shredded by tank fire, the collateral damage from the occasional vertibird bombing run, the ever-growing tally of scav lives lost to people who came and occupied the land we've lived in for generations. If I sound bitter, forgive me. It just pains me to see so many senseless deaths over the years, from the fall of the Sandlot, the Brighttown Massacre, the night the branded vanished, and all those wretched mutants that popped up in the last decade. Sometimes it feels like this land is cursed, doesn't it? If the NCR is looking for their salvation, they're in the wrong place. Of God and Glory, Alter Crowley. While other major powers may be breathing down the Frontier's neck for some time now, a relatively new player has entered the fray. The Crusaders are a force that, as far as iconography goes, is quite clearly related to the Brotherhood. But in what capacity? Well, the answers are readily available to those who seek them. Crusader Warden Howell stands vigil at the force field that gates off Robco Tower, their base of operations in the frontier. When approached by our reporters, he seemed to speak with measured caution. When we began to ask of the group's history, however, he seemed elated at a fellow seeker of knowledge, expressing interest. While the conversation we had could very well fill an entire history book of its own, the key points are that a paladin known as Tasha Weaver survived the Battle of Helios I in Nevada and made her way to New Canaan, recovering from her injuries and finding a new lease on life. She and other like-minded individuals, broken by their time in the Brotherhood, converted to Mormonism and began to enact what they believe is God's will. Yet, as the good book itself says, the return will come as a lion, not a lamb. We all know the fate of New Canaan. The reports from out east about a ruined town of salted earth and butchered corpses, and we know that Tasha Weaver quite clearly has survived, and it just so happens that she found the man responsible for the fall of Helios I, Elias Blackthorn, right here on the frontier, and it seems her goal is to temper her crusader of steel in his blood, and forge a new society where their God's word is law. Time will tell if they find success or if their tragic history will repeat itself. Okay. The Malleus Deus. By dictate of our most holy Father, we shall deliver the innocent from evil and restore God's peace to the world. We shall purge all wickedness and cruelty. We shall pursue justice and liberty for all God's children, and hereby ordain that any individual who renders grievous harm upon another shall bring the wrath of God upon himself. He is considered unworthy of mercy and shall be sent before the Lord for judgment, to always do the unprivileged succor, to fear God and protect his creation, to banish wickedness from wherever it is found, to never take more than is needed, to fight with honor. If we are to die, it is God's will. Oh, okay. Oh man, 19 minutes and we're fucking caught up. Alright, I think there was a young lady over here that needed some therapy. Where'd she go? No, not you. Someone with abandonment issues. No. No. Oh, yep, it was you. Oh, well. Guess we're not talking to you. Let's see. Maybe see what quests we got. Alright, so talk to Molly. Fix the elevator. What is this one? I don't think we're going to be doing this one. Oh, we upped this one too. Tell Charlene about Elian? Alright, where were all the software? They were on like a medical floor, right? Research and development. Medical. Alright, well we can probably find Charlene up here, right? Sofer. Prelate. 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 Sofer. Sofer.
Can I help you with something?
Never mind. I'm looking for Charlene. Is she actually still down at the round table? Wait, hold on. Alright, you know what? What the fuck? I hate you two. Eddie, you're cool, but Rex, fuck you. I want to fix the elevator. Alright, I think it said something about we could find our, wait, where am I going? Motor oils, industrial fuses. Alright, yeah. Got any motor oil?
Welcome, young blood. It's all been squared away, unfunked and polished like trophies by the mechanics. Take a look.
Grip tape, Johnny gun. Oh, damn it. Is there more? Oh, wait. Anomalous rain zone. We already read those. Hector. What's going on, Hector?
Good to see you again. Is there something I can do for you?
What do you think of the frontier?
Good thing I like the cold. I heard that the locals dub it the frozen shitterland. But I think it's beautiful here. I've lived in far worse.
I like that. Tell me about yourself.
That's rather forward, but a bit flattering if I may say so. Before, I was a Brotherhood Knight, and left after the falling out at Helios 1. Elijah wasn't the only one to walk away bitter, but I digress. As of late, I'm a bit nearsighted. Too many years of laser rifles damaged my eyes. I prefer a sword now, but don't think that makes me ineffective at combat. If I get within 20 feet, it's all over and I can close the gap quick. As for my eyes, the Seneschal wants to operate. But let's just say I'd rather not risk it. She may be quite the gifted doctor. But optical surgery takes a special finesse, something scribes aren't trained for. Well, I suppose now you know we were both Brotherhood of Steel. We're not cousins or anything. The Brotherhood isn't as homogenous as you might believe. Each bunker has its own subculture, different families, and quirks. My bunker emphasized athletics and PT, so naturally I'm quite gifted in such manners. But enough about me. Do you have any further questions?
Let's see. Do you have a favorite sport?
I've played quite a few pre-war sports, but my favorite is called rugby. Basically, you take a ball and try to smash through the other team. A true test of endurance and might. Black eyes, bruises, and blood. Damn, what a game. Might be even better with power armor. Here's an idea.
Alright.
Very well.
What do you think of the Domino?
I don't gossip about my friends, and neither should you.
You're right. And the NCR?
What more do you say about the people that killed your family other than they disgust me? My 16-year-old sister bled out in my arms. Enough said.
Yeah, enough said.
Farewell, my friend.
Farewell. Power armor mechanic.
Welcome to the tower.
I bought overclocking kit. Fire teams, finally, I got the last of the overclocking kits finished and shipped over to the quartermaster for distribution. These little fuckers are plug and play cans of whoop ass. Just remember, overclocking is like buff out for your energy weapons. They give you a burst of damage increase, but it ain't good for the gun in long run. Each kit will only give you a single amped up shot to prevent damage to your weapon. Take that as a warning. I don't want to hear any bitching about melted wires or fractured amplifier lenses. Molly, P.S. Under no circumstances should you send Wendell my way. I'm not making a laser chainsaw katana for him. Period. He needs to stop reading all the damn comics. Fuck. I mean, a laser chainsaw katana sounds pretty fucking badass. Blank holotapes. Scrap electronics. Motor oil. Boom. Now we just need some fuses. Nope. Welding mask. Scrap metal. Where do you keep all the fuses at, Molly? Oh, industrial fuse. Restraint collars. What do we got here? Restraint collars. Laboratory 3 staff. With the impending war with those commies, this is from before the war, our correctional production facility has gone into full manufacture of your ingenious restraint collar. The government boys were particularly impressed with the signal transmitter that broadcasts its position and how the latest designs include built-in microphones for surveillance. As a token of our appreciation here at Robco, we're giving you all a bonus check equivalent to 2 weeks' pay. Zachary Larson, Experimental Electronics Director. Wow. That's pretty cool. What's not cool is when y'all two just show up unannounced like this. I'm pretty sure I set y'all to Essential, right? Search Rex. That's not a good sign. How you feeling, huh? Yeah. Get lost. Eddie. I thought you were already my companion. Cool. Alright. What else? Let's go repair that elevator. Hector? Yo.
Welcome, young blood. I can offer you a variety of weaponry and ammunition.
Well, I have everything requested for the elevator.
You sure do. No wonder they call you the courier. Hold on a tick and I'll get this to Jesse.
Mm-hmm. I wish they'd call me the courier more often, not the, reader or narrator. Robco Tower's elevator is repaired. Jesse has finished the repairs. You can now use the elevator to move between floors instead of the stairs. Nice. I mean, it's a simple quest, but it makes a big difference. Let's see. Oh, Charlene's here. Where's Charlene? Maria, Sofer. Prelate. Wait a minute, we already came here looking for her, right? Yeah, I don't think we found her. Oh, here you are.
Hello again. How may I be of assistance to you?
Something seems strange about a medical lab in a robotics technology building.
This advanced medical research lab was abandoned prior to the war. Odd enough for a robotics company to be involved in such an undertaking. But this is only a soup con of the strangeness. It seems that someone tried to ransack the place, but settled for smashing all the terminals and burned them, along with all the research logs in the central room. Someone didn't want whatever was going on up here to be noticed or discovered. Perhaps a revelation they felt impeded upon the works of God. Perhaps something as terrible as learning to split the atom. My mind churns with the possibilities. For the more my Sofers investigate, the more secrets this seemingly innocuous building harbors. We're attempting to piece together the purpose of research done here, but all that's left is evidence of cryogenic experiments on canines, some of which are still frozen in stasis pods. Feel free to look around, but do be careful in the main laboratory. A power surge caused the robotic dissection suites to reactivate, and we currently can't find the means to shut them down.
What the hell? Keep hearing mention of brain damage or brain surgery. Did something happen to you? This is a bit sensitive to bring up.
I wasn't always this dour. Once I was a brilliant, vivacious young scribe. Not as fervid as Molly, mind you. Father Elijah changed all that. After the battle of Helios 1, I was wounded by a rad scorpion as we fled towards our new bunker. I began to bleed out, but then Elijah found me. I'd always looked upon him like a grandfather. He seemed particularly taken with me and another girl, Veronica. He stopped the venom and my bleeding. As he carried me away, I believed the darkest moment in my life had passed. How naive I was then. While he repaired my body, Elijah had other designs for my brain. Specifically for my pineal gland. The dark truth of his fondness revealed itself. Apparently, he'd taken a fondness to me because of my gift, and wanted to enhance it cybernetically. The surgery was horrific without anesthesia.
Ooh.
I don't know how many days had passed, only that it was several surgeries later. He grew frustrated with the process and stitched me up mid-operation. He raved about not having the proper tech, but that he knew where to find it. Elijah abandoned me. I awoke in a shack on the outskirts of Freeside. I never heard from him again. The last round of surgery damaged me. My amygdala, specifically. In short, I have trouble processing emotions, particularly happiness and anger. I've worked with the Domina and Clements to restore them, but it's like trying to regrow an arm. You eventually learn to adapt. Perhaps one day God will answer that prayer.
So, what is your gift?
As a teen, I discovered I could, know things via nasty shocks of electricity. I owe my impulsivity to fix an old terminal for the revelation. Tasha believes the ability is a gift from God, something about biblical prophets having similar powers. Me, I have a more mundane explanation. Pretty sure, being a scribe, my mother was exposed to some FEV residue, or heavy radiation, from old pieces of tech, before she knew she was pregnant. A lot of babies in my bunker had birth defects around the time I was born. So, put two and two together.
So, you're like a psychic?
It's more like visions of what another person around me is feeling. It works both ways. With enough concentration, I can make another feel a certain way. You can imagine why Elijah wanted to save me. What a mass-scale weaponized version of my power would do to the NCR morale. Nightmarish, indeed.
Well, good news, he's dead.
That is disheartening. I always imagined watching the life dim in his eyes as my fingers crushed his windpipe. Still, accolades to you for wiping that filth from this world. I hope his death was painful and gruesome.
Well, I locked him in a box, and he probably starved to death in there. Died of dehydration, most likely. Anyway, I met a man named Elian. He said he came to the frontier looking for Charlene from the Brotherhood of Steel.
Elian? Thank you. But please, don't press this any further.
But he clearly loves you enough to come all the way to the frontier searching for you.
Don't you understand? I am done with the Brotherhood. It's a painful past to stalk my nightmares. Nothing more.
Well, I mean, I think he's done with the Brotherhood too.
Look at that. You've pried apart a long-stitched wound so fiercely that you've overcome Elijah's maiming.
Charlene,
Just tell Elian I'm dead. That it was just a fling. Just anything to close that chapter of his life. And my own. Take this. He'll know that it's mine.
he's sick. With rheumatic fever. Maybe you can help him.
I'm sorry. It's in God's hands now.
Oh.
Hello again.
So what? Do we have an option to tell him? Or is it just... Let's see. Okay, well, despite it feeling like we didn't really do much, spent 20 minutes reading. So we're gonna cut here, and next episode, I guess we'll find some quests to do here. I mean, we fixed the elevator, so I mean, it's a big breakthrough. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and y'all have a wonderful night. See you later.